Before global shipping, before the internet, there was a secret network of merchants who controlled the trade of the entire known world. They spoke 6 languages, carried rare passports of absolute neutrality, and walked into the palaces of kings and emperors as equals. While the rest of the world was trapped in the Dark Ages, these men were running the first global economy. They were called the Radhanites, the ghosts of the Silk Road. And for 2 centuries, they held the keys to the planet. To understand their power, you have to understand how broken the world was in the 9th century. The colossal Roman Empire was gone, replaced by warring Christian kingdoms in Europe. To the east lay the massive Islamic Abbasid Caliphate. These 2 superpowers were locked in a state of constant holy war. If you were a Christian merchant, crossing into Islamic lands meant imprisonment or death. If you were a Muslim trader, European kingdoms were a dangerous, hostile void. Global trade should have been completely dead. Yet, somehow, French kings were still wearing Chinese silks. Wealthy caliphs in Baghdad were buying swords forged in Germany. How was this possible? Enter the Radhanites. As a unique Jewish merchant guild based out of France and the Middle East, they belonged to neither warring empire. They were the ultimate neutral party. They possessed a priceless geopolitical loophole, a passport of safe passage across a fractured world. The Radhanites didn't just survive the medieval globe, they conquered its geography. According to the Postmaster General of Baghdad, who kept the only surviving records of their existence, they mastered 4 titanic trade routes that spanned tens of thousands of miles. The first route was a maritime gauntlet. They would set sail from southern France, cross the treacherous Mediterranean, and land in Egypt. From there, they loaded their goods onto camels, trekked across the scorching desert to the Red Sea, boarded new ships, and sailed all the way. But the Radhanites weren't just moving physical treasures. They were smuggling something far more dangerous to empires: knowledge. During their journeys to Tang Dynasty China, the Radhanites witnessed a revolutionary technology kept under strict imperial lock and key, the art of papermaking. Recognizing its immense value, they helped transport the secret techniques, and the Chinese artisans who possessed them, out of East Asia and into the heart of the Islamic world. This single act triggered the Islamic Golden Age. Suddenly, Baghdad could mass-produce books, leading to an explosion of science, mathematics, and philosophy. Without the Radhanites acting as global couriers, the preservation of ancient knowledge might have been delayed by centuries. They were the original information network. How did they survive carrying fortunes across thousands of miles of lawless territory? They couldn't rely on armies, so they relied on wit, language, and an incredibly sophisticated network of trust. Traveling in heavily armed caravans, they moved from one Jewish community to the next. These communities acted as a medieval banking system. A Radhanite merchant didn't need to carry chests of gold coins, which made them a massive target for pirates and bandits. Instead, they used a system of written credits, a precursor to the modern check. A merchant could write a note in France, hand it to a contact in Cairo, and receive funding instantly. Furthermore, their multilingualism was their armor. Speaking fluent Arabic, Persian, Greek, Frankish, Spanish, and Slavic meant they could negotiate their way out of a hostage situation, bribe a local warlord, or charm a foreign king before a single sword was drawn. For over 200 years, the Radhanites dominated global commerce. They were irreplaceable. But by the end of the 10th century, they vanished from the pages of history. What happened?